What do you think?
I think we're dead meat. Real dead meat.
You're dead meat!
Go ahead and laugh, you guys. If I ever find a little bastards that did this, they're dead meat.
Welcome to the Dead Meat Podcast, your horror safe haven. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm James, and we're married, and we like to get scared together.
Yes, Molly's here too.
Molly's here too.
She's very excited. She really perked up at that intro.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that she's on camera.
I couldn't find my ring.
Yeah, we're going to have to go find that after.
Yeah.
I think you were filming a bit with a
Yep.
costume?
It's always bits.
Yeah.
Always bits.
Yep. Sorry for missing a podcast last week. Everything is fucking crazy right now. I don't know if you heard, but everyone's on strike. We're not on strike, but it still affects us.
Yes,
quite
it does.
A bit.
Quite a bit.
We had our Dead Meat schedule up through
The schedule was set through the end of the year. Scripts were written through the end of October.
Yeah, and then we couldn't use any of those because of the strike.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not covering struck work. So we had to go back and just replan everything last minute. So everything is kind of...
It's so weird straddling a line of being, are we reviewers? Are we influencers?
Yeah.
You know, it really depends on how other people perceive us. I feel like our work is primarily a review, but you know,
we're erring on the side of caution.
Erring on the side of caution,
it's good to have
for sure.
solidarity.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because we can afford to have solidarity with those on strike. We definitely should. But yeah, that's why we just didn't have time. James specifically did not have time for a podcast.
I'm not going to have time for the rest of the year.
Last time because he's been hard at work retooling basically the entire channel.
Mm-hmm.
And we had
It's been a great year, man.
Yeah, no kidding. We had a convention though.
Yeah.
Last weekend.
Those are always nice.
Midsummer Scream. Thank you everyone who came out and
It's always so validating hearing from people how much we mean to them.
it is. It definitely gives me some energy, some just renewed energy in what we do, and it's just nice to see people both for the first time and people we've met before. It was really fun. I'm sorry that we both were sick during it.
But not COVID.
No, we took peace. Don't worry, we would not come to a convention with COVID.
Yeah, and we were just minorly sick.
Yeah, I think what happened was you maybe caught a cold, and then I caught it from you, and then mine just turned into a sinus infection.
Yeah, so we're unclear about how much we can talk about any movies, because I have a fun game idea that I'm going to run eventually with you.
Yes, James came up with a game that he's going to make me play, and I really want to do it, but I'm afraid we can't.
It's unclear is the thing. It involves cinema score ratings, which are, related to box office, which I follow pretty intently nowadays. And I think only 7 horror movies have gotten an A cinema score. It's hard for horror to get it because cinema score is based on opening weekend crowd reaction. So, it's
How
kind
do
of...
they measure that?
It's with little surveys that you get. And the best judge of like, if you get a B+ cinema score, it's bad. Like, if a movie gets a B+ cinema score, it's like, oh fuck, its legs might be fucked, because the curve, it's kind of like how IMDb ratings are all weird, but the curve for cinema score is like, you expect the people seeing it opening weekend to love it. So if they don't love it, it's bad.
But like a B+?
A B+ is bad, apparently.
This is such a Spinal Tap question, but
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just adjust it so that B+ is not so that a D is actually
I don't
bad?
know, man, because you can get an A-, that's fine. A is good. A+ is like fucking great. Like Maverick got an A+.
Right.
But yeah, only I think 7 horror movies traditionally. Like a B is good for a horror movie. Some horror movies have gotten Fs. Only 7 horror movies, I believe, have gotten A's.
I
was
almost
gonna
want
make
to
you...
play what movies have gotten Fs.
We can do both, but not right
Shit.
now, apparently. We don't know.
Did we ask SAG if we could do that game?
We asked the representative that we spoke to on the phone if
weren't
we could
sure.
play that game, and they weren't sure.
Okay.
So we don't know.
Hopefully we get answers, because I really want to play that.
It'll be a lot of fun, and I feel like it's talking about them in an incidental way rather than, but you never know. So that's where we are now. That's basically and here's the other thing. Let me pass the dog off.
Thank you. I'll take the baby.
A24, for instance, has made an agreement with the unions. Because I'm drinking this thing and it has condensation.
Wet?
Don't worry, she hasn't peed. So, Talk to Me, for instance, is apparently unstruck, cleared work. We could maybe cover that
I
next
think we're going to do
episode.
that next episode. We're going to get Molly's head out of the microphone. We're going to do Talk to Me next episode.
But other A24 work may be co-distributed or co-produced by studios in AMPTP. Foreign films, which we said, and independent films, which we said we might be able to cover. A lot of those are co-distributed or co-produced by studios in AMPTP. So especially like foreign films have their American distribution by a company like Sony or Universal. So I think Pearl, for instance, is Universal is involved in some way. So it's like you think it would be clear. I think so. We've been on the phone with SAG asking about specific titles, and God bless them. They've been so patient.
Yeah.
They've been looking in their database. They've been clearing them.
Yeah, SAG has been super helpful. This is not SAG's fault. Studios, get your shit together and pay people so that we don't have to do this.
But you would think, for instance, Velocipaster, it's struck.
It's struck
somehow. Wow. I don't know who picked up the distribution rights or maybe the streaming rights or something, but even something like Velocipaster has ties to AMPTP Studios. So it's a tight, and then the last thing I'll say about all this is like sometimes it's especially with Asian language productions, we'll get the clear from SAG. There's no co-distributions, and then our YouTube network will be like, yeah, but the people who own those rights will give copyright strikes, like what happened with Train to Busan.
Right.
So some of those, Audition, I think, was cited as a like strike-heavy distributor. So this is what we're dealing with, folks. It's a quagmire. And so kill counts are going to get weird pretty soon.
Yeah, if you haven't heard, I'm working on another kill count.
Yep.
It's quite a behemoth as it turns. I mean,
it won't come out till October.
It's not going to come out till October,
yeah.
like late October probably. I'm not 100% sure if we decided when that's coming out. But yeah, we're going to do Danganronpa. I've been wanting to do it for years.
Yeah.
Truly.
This is kind of like
this was a perfect moment.
Excuse, I guess.
I'm glad we didn't do it before because it works so perfectly. If you're not familiar with it, it's a anime style video game that is like a murder mystery. It's like a bunch of whodunits, which is why I played it initially, because I love problem solving and mysteries and whodunit type things. And it's like takes place in a high school and a bear is the principal. I don't know.
It's anime.
It's very anime.
Yeah.
I love that. There's 3 games. I love them all. We're gonna do the first game, and if people like it and it doesn't kill us, maybe we'll do the next 2 games.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing this episode. It's already kind of free for. You know, there are podcasts that are just this every time. It's just whatever every time. And they're hugely popular.
That's the thing, is those are the ones that are huge and get nominated for streamies. I'm not mad. It would just be us just saying the whole time.
Let's try that. That's the strike show.
Just have a hangout podcast.
Hangout podcast. Gressel, you in?
Oh, yeah, this isn't also giving me horrible like anxiety of the fact that popular podcasts are just people who bullshit, because my minor podcast compared to you guys also has a lot
you
of
spend
work.
all your life writing rich thematic fictional worlds for. Oh, man.
But I don't have to deal with the strike, so grass is greener.
Sure. And a lot of those podcasts are like fucking daily. They do them every day or like 3 times a week.
You know what though? They're bad.
Hey, I'm not here.
I won't comment on their quality.
That wasn't me who said that. That was other James.
Some are bad.
I ain't gonna say shit like that, because if you want me on that podcast, I'll come on that podcast.
A daily podcast, though. Oh my god, I
Can
don't
you
care.
imagine?
I don't care if it's good or bad.
don't know
The
if
work
I
for that,
have-
respect for that, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how much new stuff I would have to talk about.
That's the
every day.
thing. I don't know if I
Yeah.
have that much to say.
Yeah.
For real.
I gotta spend that other time learning about stuff to say.
I feel like at that point it turns into morning radio, though, where all the stuff they talk about is just stuff they all saw on Twitter that morning.
Oh yeah, I have thought that many times listening to podcasts. Like, I'm just listening to drive time radio.
Yeah.
Like it's just called something different now.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Evolution. But yeah, so many people got back to us on Twitter because I was originally going to post this on all the social medias.
I said no.
Yeah, one tweet was
That's too much.
sufficient.
Yeah, I pulled some questions. Did you pull questions? You're looking at your phone.
I didn't pull them, but I can just look at them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got some.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to just get right?
Yeah, get into it. Let's
Okay.
do it. Fuck it.
I have a tweet from our friend Johnny Birchtold.
Johnny Birchtold.
And he asked, can we do another podcast together where we talk about haunted houses? Yes. Also, my question is, what is your favorite haunted house moment you've experienced?
I shoot from the hip answer for me is you bathing in Sam's spit in the trick or treat haunt that we did.
Oh yeah,
your first year at Universal.
They had a Sam
on the ceiling.
not quite animatronic, although I guess his head kind of
but he like spit out
but he
water.
was spitting water,
and you were just like bathing in it.
Give me that theme park water.
And I just thought it was hilarious. And I mean, I remember it because I edited that video and
Yeah,
saw that
yeah.
clip a lot. But
The moment that sticks out for me is it's because it's the only moment I've experienced in a haunt where my knees involuntarily gave out. I got so startled that my knees just buckled and I fell over. It was in the Exorcist house.
oh yeah,
There was a Captain Howdy that I just was not expecting. It was in such a weird, it was right in my periphery. It was at a point where you're kind of walking past something and you assume that there's not going to be a scare there because you've already walked by it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I don't know. It was so weird. I just remember my legs just gave out, just spaghetti. I was on the ground.
the poltergeist giant head that came out.
Yes.
That thing ruled.
There was a giant skull.
That was my background
I
on
was
my
gonna
phone
say
for
that
a
was your
while.
phone background for a long time.
Yeah.
I want to go to more non-universal haunts.
Yeah, I think we're planning on doing not scary,
Scary.
although we just went over our calendar a little bit and
It's a little fucked.
it's
We're
a
gonna
little
try
it's a
our
little
best.
fucked.
It's their 50th anniversary this year.
Yes, so we definitely should because we went to Knott's for the first time this year earlier.
Yeah, just the
Just
theme
regular
park.
Knott's during its Boysenberry Festival.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking great.
I love Knott's Berry Farm.
I mean, we lucked out, I think, on the crowds.
there was
no one
But
there.
we went on a weekday
Mm-hmm.
during the spring.
And like part of the park was still closed for renovations.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was closed. So I
But
think,
we rode that drop tower 5 times in a
Yeah,
row. Like got off, got back on.
and it's a Ghost Rider, the big wooden coaster.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really solid.
Shout out to the employees there who recognized us and gave us little shortcuts to the rides.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Good
much.
customer service.
Yeah, great place there. So we definitely should. But I don't know. We can mention the conventions we're doing later this year because people often ask.
I think that was another question I pulled. So yes.
Okay, yeah, we're doing Silver Scream Con
Yes.
in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
That's our buddy Spencer's from Ice Nine Kills. This is the second year of that convention. We were invited last year, but couldn't make it work schedule-wise. So I heard it was fantastic,
I'm so excited for it.
that's really cool for a first-time convention to get such accolades. But I guess CreepyCon was the same thing. That first year happened, and everyone fucking loved it. So we're excited to go there. We haven't been to a con on the East Coast because I don't think I could consider
It's in
Rochester, New York.
Massachusetts,
Oh, it's
but
in Massachusetts? The
Yeah.
con is? Why have I been saying New Jersey?
I don't know.
What? Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. It's
That's
in
why
Mass-
when you said that I was I'm like, I need to Google that because I don't think it's in New Jersey.
Good. I hope we haven't bought plane tickets.
Oh, jeez.
But that's in September, right?
It's in Danvers, Massachusetts.
Danvers, that's right.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe the week after that is CreepyCon Aftermath
Let's see who's going to be there.
at Silver Scream Con.
Yeah.
It's Spencer. Everyone likes him, so he probably has a dope-ass lineup.
Okay, we got Tom Savini, sure,
Yeah.
classic.
Mhm,
Scout Taylor Compton.
Of course, yeah.
Alex Vincent, Eric Freeman, aka Garbage Day.
Garbage Day.
A friend of the show, Catherine Corcoran.
Oh, I mean, Tony Todd and Skeet Ulrich are right there at the top. Spencer put them above him.
Wow.
Oh, wait, what is RIP? I'm assuming it's a VIP thing, but yeah, he put Tony Todd and Skeet Ulrich above himself. That's so great.
Ooh, Doug Bradley.
Joe Bob and Darcy.
Okay, yeah.
Tom
damn.
Atkins, who we haven't met yet.
We need to meet Tom
And we need to
Atkins.
meet him because that guy's like 90.
That's priority.
Christopher Nelson, the amazing makeup artist who did the new Halloween movies and who was in The Tripper, if you watched that kill count.
Our mom, Felissa Rose.
Yes. Wonderful Felissa Rose, a bunch of Jasons, a bunch of Michaels. So, yeah.
Damn, they got a real ass convention going.
Terry Kaiser, Alex
Terry
and Christine.
Kaiser's gonna
Terry
be
Kaiser
there?
will be there. Bernie himself. The Terrifier crew.
Of course.
Great.
Always love them. They're the nicest fucking people. I love the Terrifier people.
Yeah, they're so great. And
Can I just say, because Terrifier, we could talk about a little, because that's not
we
strong,
can.
right? Okay.
And you know what? I'll break the news here. Terrifier 2 is getting a kill count after the Hostel movies because it's that independent. So that's first up after Hostel. A lot of gore coming on the channel.
Like, Terrifier, I feel like we have such an interesting relationship with Terrifier because I love all the people who've made those.
Yeah.
Like, they're really, really kind,
rule.
extremely talented, like, amazing. I think the success that these movies have had in becoming this instant kind of iconic horror is really impressive and should inspire anyone who wants to work in this genre. We were mean to that first movie on the podcast. I didn't really like it.
Yeah, we didn't love it.
We reviewed it a while ago. It would have been like 2017, 2018 maybe
probably,
we
yeah.
reviewed it. And like, you know, I didn't like most of the performances in it, and I was kind of mean about it, as we are on a podcast where sometimes we rag on the things we watch. And like, the people in that movie still so fucking nice to me. And do you know how much that haunts me at night? So much. Because they know what I said about their movie.
They watched it.
And
they watched those reviews.
Are so gracious and like mature, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They are better people than I ever could be. Truly. I admire them so much.
I mean, specifically, Catherine Corcoran is fucking great. She has become like a good friend of ours. Her and I might do a podcast soon.
That's going to be very, very
just
cool.
like an offshoot thing while Chelsea's doing like VA stuff.
I just think she's like one of the most like, she has so much like fortitude and is just so whip smart.
Yeah, she's so good. And like, I also think about the comments we made covering that first movie.
And she still is just super nice, and I love being friends with her, and I'm so happy that we've gotten to know her. And I don't know if I could ever be that kind to someone who is just a dick to me on a podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to all of them. They're great.
All the Terrifier people.
That's the
1
hard,
and 2.
like,
they're so good.
We always say this, but we talk about stuff. We really haven't made things that people can talk about in that capacity.
Yeah.
Putting yourself out there as an artist is extremely vulnerable. It's scary. We talked about that a little bit on our Howie Mandel episode, where it's like, once you get to a certain point, people aren't obligated to be nice to you. And that is the scariest part of, it's the double-edged sword of, oh, finally people are seeing the things I'm making. But with that comes honesty. You know, people aren't, it's not, I think Howie used the example of your mom reviewing your business on Yelp and giving you 5 stars.
Yeah, exactly.
When it gets beyond that, that's the hard part. That's, you know, when
and it's so hard to find the line between, you know, being honest in your critical analysis of something, but recognizing that like there are people behind those things that you're criticizing. And especially now, like, we're probably going to meet those people. And I like to think that we have kind of found that line, or we're always searching for it. I like to think that I can still be critical of something, even knowing that like it might be made by my friends or my future friends. I don't want to ever be like, have all our edges sanded off, but I think you can be critical without being mean. Yeah. Which is really what we strive to do nowadays. Maybe in those earlier days when the channel was a lot smaller.
Well, it's smaller, and we just never assumed we would know these people.
And I think it was also closer in time to the prevalent internet criticism type, where it is like snarky and shit on everything. Like that in those early kill counts, I would like if a movie was like bad or if people said it was bad. Like I shat all over Predator 2. Whereas I bet if we watched that now, we would fucking love that movie because
That's the Los Angeles one,
Yeah,
right?
that's the
No,
LA
yeah,
one.
that shit slaps.
Yeah, but I'm like, this movie fucking sucks. And it's like, no, it's just because people said it sucks. So I was like, it must suck.
Right.
And it was just like, that was closer to, especially early 2010s, internet was just like, oh, to review something and to be funny about it, you just make fun of it and shit all over it. And I don't know. It's weird. It's weird going through that growth process.
Yeah. Oh God, there was a writer we met at a convention who wrote
A writer of one of the movies, maybe Wrong Turn 6, with Sadie Katz in it, like came up to us and was like, hey, I wrote this movie. And I'm like, oh, that's the one I shat all over. But he was so cool and so, again, gracious and just like, yeah, I know it wasn't great, but like I liked your review of it. And it's amazing.
It's always
when that
humbling, and I'm
happens.
always in a moment like that thinking you're a better person than me.
Yeah.
Truly, because I just think to be vulnerable as an artist and then to be level-headed in the face of maybe even mean criticism, that takes so much emotional maturity and strength that I don't know. I haven't been in that position really. I don't know if I have that.
Yeah.
I haven't been tested in that way.
And we're still, we're still critical of stuff to this day. Watch my Winnie the Pooh kill count. I crap all over that movie, but I do at least have the sense.
They made a movie, you didn't.
That's what I say at the beginning. I'm
Yeah.
like, always got to say it. They made a movie. I haven't. So hopefully that's enough to make them not hate me if they see that review. Because, try again. Make another movie and, keep going. That's the other thing. I was talking to Gressel about this the other day, about how, like, I've realized now how when you're first getting into film, you inevitably are drawn towards like Kubrick, Tarantino, Scorsese, people who like their whole filmography is hit after hit after hit. But the more I engage with film as a medium, the more I, review things, the more I realize like if you make one good movie, that's
a
great.
miracle.
Yeah, it's a
good
miracle.
movie, yeah.
Everything else you make could be shit.
Yeah.
Whatever. You made a movie, and if it's a good movie, holy shit, that's amazing.
An incredibly difficult thing to do.
Yeah, even once. So like, and then of course it makes me realize the people who do knock hit after hit out is like, how do you do that?
It's supernatural.
But like, if someone makes one great movie and a bunch of shit after that, I'm not judging them.
And I an example I love to bring up, or I don't know, example's the right word, but think of Roger Ebert. Roger Ebert,
Yeah.
probably the most famous film critic who will ever live. I don't think you're ever going to have another household name like that that's a film critic. He made a movie called Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, which I love. Unironically, I think is fantastic, but it's not what you think it's going to be for a film critic to go make. You assume like, okay, this film critic,
classy.
who everyone just assumes he knows what he's talking about. He spent his whole life talking about movies and understanding film. If he makes a movie, it's got to be great. Just go watch it. Just go watch it. It's seeing is believing with Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Again, I adore it. It is so bizarre, and the aesthetic is great, super funky. Granted, this is like younger.
70s?
Yeah, it's from
Okay.
the this is younger Ebert. So
Yeah.
maybe if he made a movie in the 2000s, we would have had a masterpiece. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway. I don't know where we were going with that.
I don't know.
That's this whole episode.
That's
Hangout
this-
podcast.
What?
Hangout podcast.
Hangout
Hangout podcast,
podcast.
baby. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want. Pick a new road for us to travel down, hon.
All right,
What do
let's
we got?
see. Wow, that all spawned from Johnny Birchfield asking us about haunted houses.
Thanks, Johnny.
Okay, we've got a question about D&D.
Oh, great.
From our friend Chris. Christopher. I apologize if I mispronounce your name. Ikonomu.
Oh, is it Concris?
Huh?
Oh,
Concrete. Yeah, we call you Concris, by the way. Because we've met you several times now, and it's always a delight. Let's see. Chris says, I just got into D&D, so what's your favorite meal Gressel has ever made for you? And for Gressel, what's your favorite meal or food moment you've shared with James and Chelsea, D&D related or not?
I have a horrible retention. I would need a list to look at and then be able to be like that one.
There's so many.
It's been
like at
years.
this point, it's been a long time, and we've done 176 next week.
Wow.
Couple weeks, whenever the next time we record is.
Not quite that many meals, but
no, but I mean, it's 30 or 40 a season. We're in season 5, you know, so it's a lot.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing that I've made for the show.
By the way, we are talking about our Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
Yeah.
That has been ongoing since even before the Dead Meat podcast.
Is that true?
I think it's
just a little
tiny bit older
Yeah.
than the Dead Meat podcast.
Dead Meat podcast was 2018, like February.
We started recording D&D in 2017.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It released in 2018.
Okay.
We started recording in 2017. Yeah. Which is now nuts.
Yeah. It's dinner and Dungeons and Dragons.
Or Dungeons and Dragons and dinner.
That sounds weird to
It's
me.
dinner and Dungeons and
Oh,
Dragons.
it is dinner.
I mean, like say that. It just doesn't sound right.
You're
Yeah,
right.
Chelsea's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. Dinner and Dungeons. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing that I've made for the show, I mean, recency bias, I guess. Everybody loved the spaghetti.
I did love the
No, it's good
spaghetti.
dude.
And the duck to start this latest season was really good.
I love a good cooked duck.
I just love cooking duck and making duck for you guys because everybody likes it.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite food that I've made for you guys in
Tater tot.
the tater tots were very, very good.
Especially the purple potatoes.
Yes, those were awesome. Yeah,
Those were really good.
there's a farm, Weiser Farms in LA, at the Santa Monica Farmers Market. If you can get their potatoes, it's a most exemplary vegetable.
Yes, as Mr. Collins once said.
You know what I always think about though is that snow crab you made for us. It was
King
snow
crab.
King crab.
Yes,
that
for
king crab you
Christmas.
made for Christmas. One year, I think it was
That was
pandemic
COVID
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah,
COVID Christmas,
It was
yeah.
amazing, and I keep chasing that crab. And now I won't say the chain restaurant we went to recently because I guess if you say that, people fucking
Guys,
flip
come
out.
on.
Don't review bomb shit, you morons.
And
but
then the restaurant caught on fire
I
right
know.
after that.
Oh my god!
we made
Do
a
you know
donation.
how shitty we felt?
Yeah.
We did make a sizable
We made a donation, and we made hopefully that helped. But
It's like,
this
Jesus
other
Christ,
place,
we're so sorry.
this other place, which is a chain place we went to, so I wouldn't even feel bad, but I'm still gonna show restraint. I got the crab there. It was the worst crab I've ever had. You watch that frustration. I would try to crack it. It would just like bend.
I mean,
the shell would just
We
smush.
could say where it was because this was a large chain of restaurants. This is not a singular
I
establishment.
don't know, hon. I don't know what the power we have is anymore. You want to throw Outback under the fucking
Yeah, I have to
Jeep
say
like that?
rhymes with Schmoutback Steakhouse.
That play, oh my god! And like I would pull out I would like crack it and then pull, and the meat would just stay in the other shell instead of like coming out with it. Once you got the meat out, it was like drenched in
also
butter, and then
some
by the knuckles,
weirdness in
there was
there.
some weird green shit on all the knuckles.
That'll happen. Yeah, with crab.
No, oh, it was awful. The steak I got was pretty fucking great, actually, surprisingly. But
Yeah, I had good mashed
Well,
potatoes.
that is a steakhouse.
it is an Outback Crab House. You're right.
Yeah.
That was during the convention. It was one of the only places that we could sit down and eat without waiting half an hour and therefore it taking up half of our only break we have during the day. And Outback Steakhouse, there's not a ton I can eat because I don't eat red meat.
Yeah.
And I didn't want anything fried. So I just had mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. And man, walking there, it's like 100 degrees out. I'm walking back. I've just eaten so much just heavy white food. It's fucking awful. It's a weird weekend. The people were like, everyone was so great that weekend. It was just me having a sinus infection and it's just like humid in there.
Yeah, there was
Full of mashed potatoes.
there was like a convention after party Saturday night that you didn't go to.
No, I tapped the fuck
You
out.
tapped the fuck
I
out.
Instacarted some Afrin nose spray and Vicks Vapor Rub and watched Kitchen Nightmares on my phone.
I got to hang out with lots of fun horror friends who we're trying to have a get together with, because it's like basically what I want this get together that we're going to have is to be see your convention friends without having to sign or sell stuff. Because like so many times we go to these conventions and like we'll be talking to Vamp or Kiko from Mystic Museum or Vanessa, and
it's hard because it's like I'm taking up time where people want to buy things from you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're talking, but like we can't really talk.
Right.
So also, I want Vamp to let me ride that one wheel, man.
Oh yeah, she
fucking
like,
rides that
skateboard
thing around. That thing's dope.
Yeah. By the way, Vamp sells these amazing plushies that are
giant candy
I would
corns.
say even higher quality than a Squishmallow. They're very soft and huge. We have one that's a big candy corn, and that thing lives in our bed. It's
His name is Corn Baby.
Yeah, we call him Corn Baby.
Mm-hmm. He was in the Winnie the Pooh sponsor ad.
That's right.
He was like
okay,
the back plush because he's the biggest
big.
one. People liked our plush collection. They're like, where'd you get that shit? I was like, out of the closet, baby.
There's more plushies than that too. That's not even all of them.
Yeah, we just owned all those.
Yep. Rick Massey asks, are there any interesting urban legends from your hometown? I feel like every town has a story.
You're always talking about Spaghetti Man.
Spaghetti Man's not an urban legend. That's a real guy.
According to you.
He's real. There's footage of him on YouTube.
There's footage of lots of things on YouTube, hon.
Our town did have an urban legend. If you are from Sterling Heights, Michigan, you may also be familiar with this one. Actually, I'm curious if kids are still scaring themselves with this, because this was a thing when I was in elementary school. We would all freak ourselves out with it. It was not my elementary school, but this other one that's close-ish to my house, Hazel Elementary. There was this urban legend that every night around midnight, I think, there would be a ghost girl that would walk around.
Didn't your sister dress as the
Yes,
ghost
we
girl
did
one
play
time?
a prank on some friends when I was in high school at Hazel Elementary because my friends went through a ghost hunting phase, and I asked if I could come with them specifically so that I could hide my sister in the back of my car, because she had at that point very long dark hair that went down almost to her butt, and she was
God.
like, see if I was, she would have been like 12. So she looked like Samara, like enough like Samara, right? So we hid her, me and my friend Carrie hid her in my car. We met up with my two friends who were ghost hunting, had their camcorder and everything, and we got there early so that my sister could hide.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun. I wonder if they still have that tape.
That'd be so great.
But yeah, it's not a particularly unique urban legend, but there you go. If you're from Sterling Heights, let me know if you're all still freaking yourselves out about that one.
We didn't have an urban legend at all, but we had it's not an urban legend at all. We had a cool hang called Mario Land.
Oh,
I think I've told you about it.
I should have mentioned it was Havel. Did I say Havel or Hazel?
You said Hazel.
It was Havel Elementary.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario Land.
Did I ever take you to Mario Land?
You've driven me past it and showed it to me.
We didn't hop the wall.
No,
and go
we have
to
not
it?
gotten tetanus together at Mario Land.
All right. I think I took my college ex to Mario Land once, so I'm gonna have to take you just so we can have that on our list. But
aren't you afraid you'll get like a dog sicked on you or something?
I did hear that they added dogs recently or in later years, but when we were going, it was like 2006, 2007.
Explain what it is.
It's Mario Land was this, I think it was Taylor, Michigan. It was this giant industrial field filled with concrete tubes that were used for, like, I guess sewage lines or underground or whatever, but they're giant concrete tubes stacked everywhere on their side, upright, everywhere for so far. And the building of the company that made them was so far off that no one was ever back in this back lot just full of concrete tubes. So, like, you could walk down these railroad tracks, hop a fence, and you were in Mario Land. And back then, we didn't drink or smoke or anything. We went there and played airsoft. That, like, older kids would be in there fucking drinking and smoking. We went there, and we would go at like 2 a.m, 3 a.m, with fucking headlamps and airsoft guns that eventually became the ones with like the CO2 cartridges that were like serious business. There were times when a buddy of mine fucking like jumped into a pool of still water there to swim underneath a pipe to get like the advantage on stuff. People were getting welts, falling. There's rebar everywhere. It was fucking dope, to be honest.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we still have some group pictures of that we all took, like set the camera and like all posing from like the concrete tubes.
One of the only things I can think of that was like not even close to being that reckless, which is something stupid we all did when we were in high school. It was when everyone we all had driver's licenses at that point, and it was that sweet spot in the 2000s where we all had cell phones, but none of them had the internet or maps or anything.
Dumb
you could
phones.
call and maybe text if you had a texting
You're starting
plan.
to get texting capabilities.
But
yeah.
it was for making phone calls with, and that's it. And what we would do was we would all meet up somewhere. We'd separate into teams, and then we would all kidnap a member of each other's team.
Nice.
One person, sometimes two. Like, I think more often we would do two, so it was like a buddy system kind of thing. And what you would do when you got kidnapped is you had a blindfold put on you, and you would be driven somewhere within a time limit by another team and just dropped off. And you would then have to call your team and describe where you were. And like, you would get dropped off where it would be really far until there was a street sign. Like, maybe I feel like when I did it, I got dropped off in like a field. It was just farm. Like, there was just nothing. So we had to walk until we found it was a real estate development that had a sign for like the company. So we called them like, okay, it's this real estate with this company name, and that's all we know until we can find a street. Anyway, I'm sure that was probably more dangerous than we realized at the time.
Sure. Man, when I was much younger, like 8, 9-ish, we would go to my buddy's house and just hop fences until we got to the end of the road. You would do that too?
Oh, yeah. We would just like walk through the neighborhood.
But like through people's backyards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, if they had a dog, that was an obstacle. Like, you just had to be wary of it.
Yeah.
And some had the wooden fences, some had like just regular chain link, but you would just be hopping through until you got to the end of the street, and then we'd go back to his backyard and go the other way.
Well, like, the prevalence of guns was not the same.
No, it wasn't as like an identity back then, at least in Michigan. Which like now I think that's changed a bit.
Yeah. It would not be something that I would encourage children to
No.
do anymore.
Yeah.
I have two that I
have
was
two
not.
kids?
No. Urban legend things.
Oh, you have urban legends. Okay.
One I never did. I was not cool enough, but I wonder if you guys ever made it over. But it was definitely an Oakland County thing. You ever go to the Northville Mental Hospital?
Yes.
Yeah, I never made it inside, but I like drove near it.
Yeah. That was a big thing that like kids would do, and I think it got a lot more difficult to get into.
Because it was in the middle of the woods.
It was,
right?
Yeah. Well, it was surrounded by a ton of woods,
Yes.
so you could get to it through woods instead of off of 7 Mile. And then up north in Traverse City was the old state hospital that is now like apartments and restaurants and stores and stuff. But for a long time, it was just abandoned, and you could just like walk around, and it was like, urban exploring or whatever. But there's a Traverse City urban legend that was connected to the old state hospital called the hippie tree, that there was this like hippie tree in the woods outside of the mental hospital where there was like a portal to hell, and there was like an escaped, not inmate, but patient at the mental hospital who like, was this multiple murderer and would like kidnap people from the woods and take them to this portal to hell. And why it was called the hippie tree, I have no idea.
That's not what I expected when you said hippie tree.
It's just a cool ass tree with like graffiti on it. It's like in the middle of the woods outside this, no longer abandoned hospital complex.
Man, yeah, I don't think there's any abandoned places to explore anymore safely or semi-safely, because even the train station, isn't that?
Oh yeah, Ford owns it now. They're redoing it.
No,
Yeah, it's
really?
The Packard plant is being redone a bunch.
Did you say the Packard plant?
Yeah, or it's being torn down because it's super unsafe.
Okay, we had an old steel mill, we called it. I think it was like McLean's or McLeod's or something. I think it was by Woodhaven. But we would go there, not quite inside, but like try to get inside.
At WhoAmT asks, what's the worst theater experience you've ever had? Whether it be bad customer service, bad audience, or gross popcorn and throw up all over the floor.
I remember when we saw the Pet Sematary remake with Matt, Pat, and Stephanie.
Oh, those
I remember it being
people not shutting the fuck
there were like multiple
up.
groups of people who just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It ruined the movie for me.
Yeah, it was a bummer. I mean, that movie wasn't
it
great
was fine,
anyway.
whatever. But
Yeah.
that's the first one to come to mind. I was probably as a high schooler on the other side of this question for other people, you know.
Oh, 100%. I've been the annoying asshole teen in the theater before.
Yeah.
I went to go see a movie by myself once. I think it was...
Oh, yeah, I remember this. It was when I was still in Michigan. You were here, right?
Yes, it was Thanksgiving because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anyone else out here yet. And all
it
my
was a
other
month
friends had
before I
gone
came out
home.
here, yeah.
And I couldn't afford to fly home for Thanksgiving.
2012. Then,
Yeah,
right?
so I was just out here by myself. So I was like, all right, I'll go take
What'd
myself.
you see?
I saw Anna Karenina.
That's right.
The Keira Knightley one, which I quite liked, actually. You know, it's already weird going there at Thanksgiving. I'm by myself. You can tell all the
It's not
employees
weird.
feel, well, I felt weird. I don't think it's weird. I think going to the movies alone is a pleasure. But, you could tell the employees felt bad, you know, because it's Thanksgiving and my Thanksgiving meal essentially becomes theater food at that point. And I went and I found my seat, theater basically empty, and then a guy came in and sat right next to me.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is before the assigned seating was more prevalent. Yeah.
So I just got up and sat somewhere else. And I think he took the hint because he did not follow me, but it was
Ugh.
fucking weird. Just compounding what was already just an off day.
Yeah.
Yeah, no good. That's an interesting guy going to see Anna Karenina alone as well on Thanksgiving. At Zachary Ron, Zachary Noah Ron, I again apologize if I mispronounce your name. This question was for me, but obviously this will be for both of us. Chelsea, I'm interested to know, what's your favorite Disneyland attraction? I don't know if you've talked about it in the past, but I can't remember. Lamau.
Does DCA count?
I guess, yeah, well, we can say like Disneyland. We'll do Disneyland Resort, which is the whole thing, but then also we should do Disneyland, just Disneyland, the park.
Is it Magic Kingdom or is that
No,
Orlando?
that's Florida.
Does Disneyland have it?
Disneyland's just Disneyland. The Disneyland Resort is
Got it.
all of it. Yeah.
Guardians Breakout.
It's the Guardians ride.
It's the fucking best ride.
And I will fully admit, I was very unhappy when they announced they were reskinning
I think we publicly
Tower of Terror. I was pissed.
Tweeted.
I had
We're
angry
angry.
tweets.
Yeah. And people were like, what's the big deal? It'll still be there in Florida. And it's like, yeah, but we're here.
We're here. That's so far away and humid.
But despite the theme change maybe not being to our tastes, they also changed the ride mechanics.
They
Whew.
made it so much more intense.
Fucking rules.
And I love the feeling of falling like a drop.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't complain. They really amped up that ride.
Oh man.
It's so intense.
With
like
that Jackson 5 sequence.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Because
The
there are, what,
music
6
is-
songs that you can get?
Yeah.
Each with a different drop
they randomize
sequence?
it, yeah. The music is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't really care for Guardians of the Galaxy, but when I'm on that ride, all I care about is rescuing my friends.
And it's so good
I gotta help Rocket.
because there's so many drops, little drops, and then little like thing. It opens and you watch a little thing, and the entire time, everyone on that
Everyone
ride
is
is
screaming.
screaming their fucking lungs out.
Screaming and laughing. It's such a joyful 3 minutes or however long it is. Like, I don't know. There's something about it that's just real
God,
special.
and then when we're on our 4th ride of the weekend, and I realize, oh, if you lift your feet up as you go
Yeah,
up, there's a
fun
point
little-
where none of you is touching the seat or the ride.
Fun hack for that ride that does not involve breaking the safety rules of the ride, which people have done and have gotten banned from the park. Don't do it. This one, I'm as far as I can tell, is completely safe because it does not involve altering the seatbelt
The
or anything.
seatbelt will keep you
if you just
from
lift,
dying,
lift your feet
but
up
just lift
off
your
the
feet up,
floor,
baby.
It's actually terrifying.
Because when you hit that top and then start to go back down, your butt comes up too.
so you're
it's
just
the
nothing is
seatbelt.
touching the. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's God, it's so good.
Yeah.
I would ride that thing all day, every day if I could.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a good one. Disneyland itself.
Disneyland itself, I think my kind of criteria for favorite ride there totally changes because
more about
while I do
theming
love
and
a
story.
thrill, especially a drop kind of ride, I also love themed rides. I love dark rides. I love animatronics. I love like good ride lighting and good ride vehicles. We got to meet Bob Gurr at Midsummer Scream, which was fucking awesome. That man's 91 years old. He is the only living Imagineer who worked on Disneyland with Walt Disney.
We spoke with him. It was like talking to history.
A lot of ride vehicles. Apparently has a monorail tattoo on his chest that I'm upset I did not know about, or else I would have asked to see it.
And if you had gone to the after party, you would have seen him
up a
fucking
storm.
dancing.
I got out partied by a 91-year-old. That's Disney magic. But
so what are you thinking? Haunted Mansion or
it's
Pirates?
Genuinely really hard for me to pick between those two because
it is, yeah.
I always think every time I ride either one, I'm like, no, this one's like between those two, it's hard not to pick either of those two because they're both just so, the theming is so detailed and elaborate, and it's also a kind of bygone style of Disney
where it's not IP.
Ride theming. No, they've been turned into IP, but they're not IP.
Yeah.
They're just these experiences and stories created for the parks, and there's something so charming about both of them, and you'll just never see rides like those made ever again. The amount of maintenance that goes into those alone, like Disney would
and
be
yet
like,
they don't break down as often as Indiana Jones.
well, Indiana Jones, I learned apparently Indiana Jones breaks down as much as it does because it's not actually breaking down. It's just that ride, people don't listen when they are told to take off their hats or sunglasses and put them in the little pouch. And so Mickey ears fly off and they have to shut down the whole ride and walk the track and find whatever it was that flew off, and then they have to, it's like they have to go through a series of clearances to make sure it's all, so that's what takes so long and why it always shuts down. Anyway, I don't know, I'm leaning, after having gone recently and going on them pretty close to, kind of like Haunted Mansion.
I lean that way too, but like you said, every time I ride the other one, it's like, maybe this.
Haunted
maybe
Mansion,
Pirates.
there's such a fun variety of gags and scenes that Pirates, and again, Pirates is like second favorite probably because Pirates is fucking incredible. And Pirates does have the kind of fake sky going for it that I think is so cool when you kind of emerge in that ship battle. It's such a cool illusion. After a while, it's just a bunch of pirates. It's just a bunch of guys, you know? Whereas, like, the scenery doesn't change too much. You kind of you're going through this town. Part of it's on fire, which is cool.
It's got a little bit of Small World syndrome with the song over and over and over.
Sure.
Although I guess Haunted Mansion does too.
It does, yeah. But Haunted Mansion, you have very different little vignettes. Like, you've got a ballroom, and then you've got an attic, and then you've got a graveyard. And I kind of like that change in scenery, maybe more so. I don't know. It's really hard to pick. I also feel like the Doom Buggies are very cozy because you get to be in one just two people versus Pirates, you're sharing a boat with people.
People try and take flash pictures on the fucking rides. Like, it's not going to look good. You're not going to look back at that and be like, what a great picture.
The correct answer is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Toad is also a staple.
Extremely honorary mention to Mr. Toad. If they ever change Mr. Toad in any way or remove it, will I handcuff myself to Mr. Winky? Maybe. Okay, here you go, James.
What's up?
John H. Beers III. Hey, John.
Hey, John.
How are you? John asks, if you were a wrestler, what would your character /heel /tag team name be? You've got to fantasize about what your gimmick would be, what your kind of...
I mean, I feel like it would fall under, like, the Miz, Grayson Waller type category, where it's, like, douchebag who's kind of like cowardly heel.
Logan Paul.
No. Logan Paul... he's much more aggressive than those guys.
Yeah, he's not as cuddly as like the Miz. Oh, what?
You think the Miz is cuddly?
He's fun, you know? Like he's a jerk, but he's kind of a.
I mean, they're more comedic. Logan Paul is not a comedic heel. He is like.
Logan Paul would never let himself get people's elbowed by Snoop Dogg as a joke.
Probably not. That was Miz who that happened to?
I think it was the Miz,
yeah, during Hot Messelmania. After Shane blew out both his legs. And then
God, that was so
Snoop
fucking
had
funny.
to do an audible people's elbow.
Like,
yeah, it would probably be in line with those kinds of characters, just like probably more comedic. I mean, especially with my size, I'm lucky to be mid-carder. You know, maybe pair me up in a tag team and we could do something. God, I just realized I don't think I've seen Pretty Deadly in a minute.
Oh.
But like
Really?
maybe
I love
something
them.
I know they're fucking great. Maybe something like that where it's just like full of yourself, but you get your ass handed to you. I'm just being realistic about my size. I would look like a fucking child next to those wrestlers.
They're huge. That is
Yeah.
all they do is work
Exactly. Height wise, I would probably be like on the lower end, but not the tiniest. But like just build wise, because even those shorter dudes just have all that muscle. Like Buddy Murphy, you know, was like my height, but that guy's fucking ripped. Even Ali, who is my height and is like a cruiserweight, he's fucking ripped, man. Those muscles are giant. So yeah, I would definitely be I would be enhancement talent.
Uh-huh.
That's the official name for jobbers.
Enhancement talent. That's so funny. It's like sandwich artist. Okay, in a world where I'm extremely athletic and could ever qualify for a wrestling job, being a heel would be so much fun. I would be like I'd want to be like a Chelsea Green, like I want to speak to the manager kind of shit stirrer.
She's fucking great at her job.
Yeah. Like I would just want to be everyone's problem and not in a intimidating way, just in an oh my god,
like a headache.
We're just so done with you kind of way.
Yeah, literally today I just saw news that Sonya Deville tore her ACL.
Fuck.
And they are currently the women's tag champions. Those belts are cursed. People constantly get injured or just booked poorly. And so Sonya's going to be gone for torn ACL. That's 7 to 9 months, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do with those belts. Poor Chelsea. She's, getting her gimmick over, but it's a damn shame. But yeah, that'd be a good one for you, for sure. I like how we both cast ourselves as insufferable
Sniveling,
heels. Yeah.
yeah. I just think it'd be fun to be the type who runs up to the ring and just talks so much shit, but then instantly, as soon as I can tell that I'm in a bad situation, I'm crying and saying like, no, please, I'm just begging for my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a fun spot for sure.
Or I just alternatively, I just want to be Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman's such an icon. I just want to be a manager and get on the mic and pitch my client, and again, just be everyone's problem.
And then, like, on the rare occasion when someone does an actual move to you, it gets a huge pop.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
when Paul Heyman got super kicked by Jey Uso. Good times.
I'm a Paul Heyman girl for sure. All right, I think that's gonna do it for this week.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us. This was a fun episode, though.
Yeah.
Sorry,
What's the
can I-
last song or album you listened to?
Oh,
I'm just
last
throwing one out
song
there. Yeah.
or album I listened to.
Anything? Oh, Bass Hunter. You had me put them on
It
on
was-
the way home.
It was a late night drive home, and I wanted to listen to some 2000s.
I was
techno.
trying to listen to some pop punk because I'm going to When We Were Young soon. So I was trying to play some of that, and you were like,
I was
"Can we
like,
please
no,
have some 2000s
I
techno?"
need some Euro beats to keep me alert while I drive home.
Also for
I've been playing too many games recently to listen to a ton of music.
and watching Vanderpump Rules.
That's my gym / cleaning /
background show.
I'm folding laundry to this show.
Mm-hmm.
It's trash, but it's very good background noise because it does not take a ton of energy to pay attention to
Also, check out the soundtrack for the movie Influencer. That's like high on my Spotify list because it's really dope. Mm-hmm. I like that movie. It's on Shudder. I don't know if that's indie or not, but the soundtrack is fucking dope. Mm-hmm. Influencer. It's got a lot of just cool modern pop.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I just finished capturing the first Danganronpa game, and the soundtrack for those games is really, really great.
You said you really
lots
like
of
that.
horns, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Also, Poppy, who I've been a little obsessed with this year, she's been releasing new songs, but like they're less metal.
Oh, okay.
She's doing more poppy stuff, which like it's fine, but she has 2 albums that like I'm just kind of obsessed with because we saw she opened for Jane's Addiction and
Smashing
Pumpkins, and she was like doing the fucking hard shit. What albums were they? I Disagree and I think Flux were the really heavy ones. Maybe also Am I a Girl? But yeah, no, I Disagree and Flux fucking rule. Love those. If you're into like metal, maybe give those a shot. But then I say that and like the actual metal fans are gonna be like, okay. Metal's a weird genre.
Metal's weird. I guess random band recommendation, because I always kind of return to them if I just don't know what to listen to. Do Nothing. They're fun. I've played Do Nothing in the car while we've driven places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their singer has a very interesting voice that I quite like. So I guess if I'm recommending anything that's actually cool and not just Bass Hunter, because I was feeling nostalgic.
Yeah.
Do Nothing's pretty great.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in this week. Next week, yeah, we'll do Talk to Me.
Talk to Me, yeah, and which is good. We saw it, but we didn't take notes when we saw it. So
yeah,
we're gonna see it
just
again.
wanted to go see a movie.
Yeah.
But this time we'll take notes.
We'll see it again. Take some notes. Even though there's lots of movies I want to see, and I just realized can't really say that. But Talk to Me, we can talk about. That's cool. Strikes are weird.
Yeah. Talk to Me is about what happens when you drink too many Fosters at a party and do shit because your friends pressure you into it. So. Social media?
Yeah. Oh, Dead Me James, Twitter, X.
Oh, did that happen between the last podcast and this one?
Probably.
Everything he does, I think this will be it. But I can never leave. I'm there till the wheels fall off.
Oh, for Twitter?
Yeah.
It's because it's the only social media thing based on words. I don't want to do Instagram. I don't want to take that many pictures.
I know there's other ones. I did get a Blue Sky invite from a fan. Thank you.
You got a Blue Sky invite?
I did, but I haven't signed up for it yet.
Well, then Threads tried, and Threads shat the bed.
Yeah.
You can't search. There's not a trending tab. You can't access it on your desktop. Yeah. You have to go on the app. Fuck you, Threads. I think they're working on some of that shit, but I think it's too late now. I don't know. I just want to give me Twitter. It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it had problems, but they all do. Fuck. But Dead Me James on X, Instagram, and TikTok.
I'm at Careback, CREBECC on X and Instagram. And if you want merch, deadmeatstore.com. Okay, great. Till next time, I'm Chelsea.
I'm James.
And this has been
the Dead Meat Podcast. I wanted to join in.